The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning. Welcome to Live here in the Town of Huntersville. I'm Commissioner Edwin Quarles, and today we have two amazing nonprofit organizations and three wonderful ladies. We have with us Miss Sarah Porter, who is the director of the Cook Community Clinic. We have Miss Brandi Jones, who is the director of programs with Angels and Sparrows. And then we have Miss Jessika Tucker, who is the executive director of Angel and Sparrows. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks for
morning.
having
Thank you.
us.
How's your day so far?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
It's gorgeous outside.
That's a good answer there.
There you go.
Yes. I am glad to be here because my wife is off today. And if I was at home, I would be doing yard work.
Oh, the honey-do list.
Absolutely. So you have a good weekend?
I did.
How could you not?
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the mountains at a retreat, and it was just beautiful weather and lots of great reflection and good for the soul.
Did you get a chance to watch the Masters?
Go
yes,
Rory.
Yes, go Rory. Woo!
Oh, man. So we're going to get started with the show. But first, before we talk about your organizations, I want the listening audience to get to know who you are. So, Miss Jessika, are you from Huntersville, born and raised, or where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Texas, actually, and got to Huntersville by way of Ohio for a few years. So when I arrived here in North Carolina in this area, I felt a lot closer to home. And after being here so many years, I have to say that it does feel like home now.
That's awesome. What about you, Brandi?
I was actually born and raised in Salisbury. I lived in Florida for a few years for college and then kind of bounced back and forth between different parts of sort of the Cabarrus County, Mecklenburg County. Lived in Huntersville for a while and just love this area. Super excited to be here and wonderful part of the community.
That's awesome. Sarah?
Well, lived in England till I was 9, born there, moved to Sugarland, Texas, where it's very, very hot and flat, and then moved to Atlanta and grew up there, and then just kept moving up 85 and somehow ended up in Charlotte right after school.
Well,
after
Texas
college.
and Florida. Here we go. My oldest son is in Texas, and he lives in Sugarland.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes. And my other son is a student in Florida at the Universal Technical Institute. He's in training for diesel mechanic.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
wow.
the Texas and Florida route.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes.
mean-
So let's get started with the show. Miss Brandi, I'm going to start with you because you're sitting directly in front of me.
Okay,
So
no
you'll be the
pressure.
first one. What is your background? I mean, what we're going to talk about Angels and Sparrows, but what drew you to work for Angels and Sparrows?
Yeah. So I have an extensive career in nonprofits, have been everything from boots on the ground to in organizational leadership roles. A few years ago, I found myself I was an executive director of a very large nonprofit, kind of found myself in this season where I really needed to just take a step back from overall larger organizational leadership roles and really just felt called to be more of the hands and feet, really boots on the ground in the day-to-day serving the community. And honestly, I started narrowing my search of where I wanted to work from places I didn't have to drive on 77 anymore. And so Angels and Sparrows from where I lived was perfect. Learned about the organization, thought the mission and their values and core beliefs just 100% aligned with what I was looking for, my current personal values, or not current, but just my personal values as well. And then the position, director of programs, was available, and it was a wonderful opportunity for me to put my skill sets to use and my passions to really be able to come in and help build a program in a new area of service that the organization wanted to expand into just from the ground up, and have just enjoyed being a part of it. And I am 100% convinced that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be for exactly what we're dealing with.
Now, how long have you been with Angels and Sparrows?
Almost 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
God sent her to us. She is a blessing.
Yeah. So, what drew you to Angels and Sparrows?
You know, I started out as a volunteer, actually. I was just wanting to be involved in my community, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a medical professional background. And I'm like, what can I possibly do? Like, I can chop vegetables. So I started volunteering in the kitchen, cooking with the team, and just really fell in love with the families and our mission. And God led breadcrumbs, left breadcrumbs for me, and it just worked out. My career background just really prepared me, I think, for this role, even though it wasn't anything I had planned. And kind of like Brandi said, I have no doubt this is where I'm supposed to be right now.
All right. Miss Sarah, what brought you to Cook Community Clinic?
Well, everyone needs healthcare.
Yes.
And when I first graduated college and moved to Charlotte, I did not have insurance yet. And I went to a free clinic to get healthcare that I needed until my job kicked in and the health insurance kicked in there. And so I'd already had experience with it, and I'd been in nonprofit my entire career. Once you drink that Kool-Aid, there's kind of no turning back. And just when this opportunity came up, Cook Community Clinic's been around for so long that walking into something that was always already so great and so well set up, it was an honor and a privilege, and it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. And I do make the commute. I actually now have decided I love making a commute up 77 every single darn day. So, but it's well worth it.
Yeah. I did it for too many years. I'll do it again at some point, but I just needed a break.
That is awesome. And your answers is confirmation to what I got from you when I first met each of you. When I first met you, I could tell that you were a community servant. You wear what you do on your sleeves very well. Jessika, when I first met you, you were talking about as a volunteer. And I'm like, wow, it was there. And you allowed me the opportunity to get to know Brandi and others within the organization. And I got to meet some of the cool young people, and we're going to talk about them in a little bit. But you guys are truly servants. And this is what Huntersville needed. Our slogan is Thrive in Huntersville. And we want to make sure that people can thrive, whether it's with a nonprofit organization. We have so many different nonprofit organizations in our town, whether you want to walk through a park, you want to go to a brewery or Discover Place Kids, whatever it may be. We want people to say, I want to thrive in Huntersville. And I think it's so important that the town partnership with nonprofit organizations. And I chose you all on purpose because I know how the two organizations and nonprofit organizations work close together. And I know we're going to have so much fun today, backing off back and forth on each other. You're going to make my questions easy today because I'm just going to be looking around because they all fall into place like a piece of puzzle. But if you will help us out, Jessika, can you just walk us through some of the key programs or services that your nonprofit offers?
Sure. Well, we have two primary programs that have, sub-programs beneath them, but the first one being our food and nutrition program, which really focuses on providing food security to families in the area. Last year alone, we served over 1,400 unique families. And then our second program would be our education program, where we really focus on exactly what you said, making sure children, regardless of the household income, are able to thrive here by providing them with education, mentoring, tutoring, literacy help, as well as their parents at the same time. So we want the whole family to thrive here, regardless of their income level.
I love Thrive here. That is so cool. Again, you play right off of the slogan for Huntersville. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back with some additional questions. And if you're out there in listening land, please don't go anywhere. We have to pay a few bills. We'll be right back with Thrive in Huntersville.
Sit tight. We'll be back with more after this on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Well, the ups and downs continue in North Carolina weather, but the more comfortable weather is starting to become sort of a common thing. Not quite record warmth, but we'll be toasty for our Monday afternoon. Kick off the new work week. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures will climb into the mid-80s to start the work week. Now, staying dry, staying comfortable through much of the week, but we'll cool it back off a tad. Temperatures drop back into the low 70s for our Tuesday, upper 60s to right around 70 much of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. 3 days of live music kick off on Thursday at Bin 110 in Cornelius. Ryan Winters opens up the performances on Thursday. Simple Soul takes the stage on Friday, while Hey Ladies will get you moving on Saturday. Bin 110 welcomes great local musicians Thursday through Saturday. The 500 Club in Statesville is having Easter brunch this Sunday afternoon. Come celebrate the holiday with your friends and family and enjoy the club's delicious food with first-class service. Call 704-872-9990 or visit the 500 Club online for more details on Easter brunch. The Spring Gospel Music Fest will be at Alexander Central High School Auditorium in Taylorsville on April 24th. Gold City and Sabbath Quartet are the featured performers with showtime scheduled for 6:30 p.m. For more information, call 828-383-5176. Enjoy the Spring Gospel Music Fest in Taylorsville on Thursday, April 24th. The NHRA returns to ZMAX Dragway on April 25th through the 27th with the annual 4-Wide Nationals. See 40,000 horsepower at one time when drag racing's finest stars line up to compete 4-wide. Every ticket is a pit pass, so come early to see your favorite drivers and cars up close before they race at over 300 miles per hour. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for tickets and more information about the NHRA 4-Wide Nationals on April 25th through the 27th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
MerleFest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Are you sick of running out of hot water? Whether it's in the middle of a shower or doing dishes, cold water's never fun. Say goodbye to those surprises with a Rinnai tankless water heater from GMV Energy. This energy-efficient propane-powered solution heats water instantly, so you'll never run out again. Plus, it saves money and frees up space. Propane models start at just $295 after rebates. Visit any G&V Energy location or gbenergy.com to learn more.
All right, we're back with more from the Town of Huntersville on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Welcome back with Drive here in the Town of Huntersville. I am Commissioner Edwin Quarles, and today we have two amazing nonprofit organizations and three wonderful ladies. We have Miss Sarah Porter, who is the director of the Cook Community Clinic. We have Miss Brandi Jones, who is the director of programs at Angels and Sparrows. And then we have Miss Jessika Tucker, who is the executive director of Angels and Sparrows. And right before break, Jessika was sharing with us about the programs that your service offers. If Miss Brandi, if that's something that you want to add to that, just let us know more about Angels and Sparrows and the programs.
Yeah, absolutely. So on our food and nutrition side, we offer a wide range of programs. We offer hot meals Monday through Friday in our community table where individuals can come in and get served a hot meal. We also have a marketplace, and then we do summer bag lunch as well as emergency food boxes. So we have an assortment of programs that can meet everyone's food security needs. And then on our pathway side, which is the program that I'm blessed to be able to run, like be the hands and feet in our community serving our members that are in need. We offer a 2-generational model where, as Jessika mentioned, we're serving both the parents and the children. So our parents have an opportunity to come in and get a multitude of classes. We help them with language services such as learning English. We have a GED program, and then we can connect them with workforce development opportunities. And our kids are getting just a wide range of things, like she mentioned, mentoring, career and college readiness. We have tutoring for all of our kids. We're just really making sure that they're meeting the needs that they need in the classroom, as well as making sure that they can thrive at home. And then we want to ultimately just set them up to be successful families and successful for their future. And we're currently in the Pathway program serving 88 families. That's about 155 individuals.
Speaking of your Pathway program, you gave me the opportunity to come sit down with some of the young people, and I had a blast. I was able to talk about humble beginnings because I came up through some challenging times, things that I had to share with my sister, my brother. Didn't come from the home that was pretty affluent. So it was challenging, but I was able to sit down with the kids. I didn't stand up and talk to them. I sat there at their level. I didn't talk as I was using a script. I was able to let my hair down and be who I was, who I am, because I have a history of working with young people. I started the Hopewell High School Men of Honor program.
Wow.
And I was very active with the Dads on Duty. So giving back to the community, giving back to young people, that's my heart and my soul. You guys know, again, nonprofits. I'm getting goosebumps talking about that because I really take that and I take it very seriously. But speaking of the Pathway programs, do you guys like jets? Airplane jets?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Our kids do too, because they have wanted to research so much about jets ever since that day. Like I kept having to take them and redirect them. They're like, oh, we want to look at jets more. And I'm like, but we got to do this other activity first. So
I got some kids in trouble.
yeah, I didn't know what
Sounds like
they opened up their laptops and I was like, no, put that, what he said. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I shared with them a story. My second enlistment in the Air Force was in the backseat of an F-16 fighter jet. They asked me, did you fly jets? And I said, no, I didn't fly jets, but I was able to fly in the backseat of one of them. And it was so cool because the kids were so engaged in what I was saying. And I'm like, wow, they are paying attention. Until this one young man was back there on his computer and Brandi said, put that down. But he was really learning what I was sharing with them. Miss Sarah, tell us some things about your programs and services that you guys offer and provide.
So we are just like everyone's primary care physician's office. The difference is that we only serve the uninsured. And honestly, I would say that we're better than your primary care physician's office because when you call us, you actually speak to a person. You can actually get an appointment either the next day, sometimes the same day, but definitely within the week. And I know recently when I've called my primary care, it's hard to get an appointment. Everyone's trying to get in and there's limited time. So for us, I pride ourselves in that we are able to see our patients in a timely manner. And we offer the same services that every primary care physician's office offers. So if you're sick, you can come to us. If you've got a rash or if you have a chronic disease like diabetes or hypertension, we can manage that. We also do labs, and we can refer you out to specialists as well. We have a lot of things that we do within our four walls that, again, is no different than what you would see if you have insurance and are going to a primary care provider. So it's amazing for us to be able to give that gift, that service to our community. Last year, 1,751 neighbors here in Mecklenburg County received care through our clinic. And that's just, again, a gift that we're able to do. And we're only able to do that because of just the great partnerships we have with Novant and Atrium and the specialists who come in. So once a month, we have a cardiologist who comes in. We have an endocrinologist that comes in, with physical therapist, a gynecologist, all these folks who come in and treat our patients. So more complex cases that sometimes our primary care providers aren't able to treat themselves. So again, we're just like a regular primary care office. The difference is we're better. And of course I'm going to say that, right?
Yeah.
And we only serve the uninsured. So no private health insurance, no Medicaid, and no Medicare.
We don't have to talk about a particular community, but you shared a story with me or a situation about some black mold. And what I'm getting at here is, I remember when I was in the Air Force, I thought I was the best basketball player on the base. And I always wanted to show off for the girls. So I wouldn't stretch. I wanted to go out there and try to slam dunk.
Right.
And I had, they said I had bursitis in one of my knees. And then I said, oh, no, it's tendonitis. But I would go to a different doctor, and they would say, no, it's tendonitis. So for more than 10 years, I had torn tissues in my knees. And it made me think about when I met with you, you said someone came in with black mold, and they had black mold in their home. Just tell me a little bit about that story.
So about October, November, December last year, a family member from a family, there was multiple families probably living in the same household, but a family member every week from that family would come to us with an upper respiratory infection or were sick in some way. And we're wondering, why in the world is someone every week coming in sick? And it's a different person every single time. And once we started digging and learning more, we realized that this family was living in a home filled with black mold. And, we can only do so much within our four walls, and we can't help once a patient walks out of those four walls, what kind of environment they live in. So that's why I think that what we do at the clinic is important, but how we partner with other organizations is just as important, because when we work together, we can identify those issues. We can make sure that our patients have access to healthier food and they live in environments that are healthy and not causing them to get sick, that they have access to all these things. And so just learning that it breaks your heart, because this is just one family. There are many others who are also suffering the same fate and living in substandard housing. Again, unfortunately, it's not an exception to the rule, right? It's more of it happens a lot.
Well, with that success story, what are your three top things about Cook Clinic
That I love?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's hard to, of course, our patients, they're the best. They're actually the reason I still have part of my finger. I know it's just so random, but we used to have these horrible windows before our construction, and I was not smart, and I was just trying to close it and not paying attention, and I caught my finger in it, and I screamed help, and two of our patients who were in the waiting room rushed back and were able to open that window, and I'm telling you, they saved my finger. But that's not of course, I love our patients just because they're awesome. And then, of course, the team at the clinic, we could not do, the team cares. Every single day they walk into our clinic and they're there because they care. And our volunteers, because they come because it's something more important. It's important to them to be there to help everyone get access to high quality health care. And, all these three things really kind of help build the community at the clinic. And the community means that when a patient comes in, they trust us to provide them the care. They know that we're going to treat them with respect and provide them the best care possible, and that they know that another patient there. So, for example, about a year or two ago, a lady came in with two little kids, and she needed to be seen for dental on a mobile unit. But you can't take two little kids and hold on to them while you're getting your teeth cleaned. So Ileana and I said, we'll watch the little girls. Y'all, they scream bloody murder when we tried. They must know I'm not a kid person or something. They screamed bloody murder. And these nice ladies who had just finished their appointment said, it's okay, we're going to watch these kids. And these two ladies had never met the mom before, but they knew that mom needed to get the care today. And it was important for her to get that care. And so these two ladies just hung out and babysat these little girls. And mom knew that it was okay because these ladies were patients at the clinic. And if you're a patient there, then it's you care and you everyone trusts each other.
Awesome. Well, Jessika, what are the top three things about Angels and Sparrows?
I think she said exactly the first thing that popped in my mind when you asked her that was people, people, people. So people being the people that we serve and come to the community table in our Pathway program, the people who volunteer and are in the community, who donate and who give their time and their treasure. And then the people, our team, our staff, we're so fortunate to work with people every day who care about every single family who walks in the door. And it's a community. And the bond of trust is so important for food and nutrition. Same thing for healthcare, obviously. I think it just changes how people feel where they belong, right? They belong in our community. And we're able to show them that when each of us shows up every day, it gives them that dignity.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take another quick break. We'll come right back. We'll pick back up on that question. So you in Radio Land, don't go too far. We'll thrive in Huntersville.
Sit tight. We'll be back with more after this on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Well, the ups and downs continue in North Carolina weather, but the more comfortable weather is starting to become sort of a common thing. Not quite record warmth, but we'll be toasty for our Monday afternoon. Kick off the new work week. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures will climb into the mid-80s to start the work week. Now, staying dry, staying comfortable through much of the week, but we'll cool it back off a tad. Temperatures drop back into the low 70s for our Tuesday, upper 60s to right around 70 much of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
For 42 years, Johnson's Parts and Supply has been your Auto Plus auto parts store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts Store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Hey folks, you know Randy Marion is the king of price when it comes to buying a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle. But how about king of price when it comes to the service department? Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln in Statesville has you covered on tires, brakes, batteries, wipers, you name it. Any service you need on your vehicle, regardless of the make or model, come see Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville Service Department or Randy Marion Ford Lincoln Service Department today.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Harness the healing power of horses. With the amazing staff at Willow Equine in Mooresville, we create a supportive environment conducive to healing and growth, dedicated to self-discovery and overcoming adversity. There's a program for you at willowequine.com.
'Tis the season. Bloom large at Drum Landscape Supply, your one-stop shop for everything you need this spring. Don't waste time running from store to store. Flowers, trees, mulch, and more. They've got you covered. Plus, they deliver. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com today.
Home of the best talk.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stocks are beginning the week higher, and analysts credit the president's late Friday pause on import taxes for electronics, including phones and computers. Dow gaining 1%, S&P up nearly 1.5%, NASDAQ up closer to 2%. We soon can see the final roundup for Roundup. Dow Jones reports giant German agribusiness Bayer, which acquired Roundup owner Monsanto in 2018, may stop producing it unless it gets court protection against the slew of lawsuits accusing it of causing their cancer. Roundup is the world's most popular weed killer by far, ubiquitous across lands from giant corporate-owned farms to suburban cul-de-sacs. While the price to buy a home keeps rising, rents, at least on a national scale, have barely moved. Today, Redfin says the median asking rent in the U.S. was $10 above $1,600 in March. That is a slip of 0.6% from a year earlier. But the firm expects rents to press higher again because apartment construction is slowing down, in part due to tariffs, which will make building materials costs spike. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, we're back with more from the Town of Huntersville on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Welcome back with Thrive here in Huntersville. I'm Commissioner Edwin Quarles, and today we have two amazing nonprofit organizations and three wonderful ladies. We have Miss Sarah Porter, who is the director at Cook Community Clinic, and we have Miss Brandi Jones, who is the director of programs at Angels and Sparrows. And lastly, we have Miss Jessika Tucker, who is the executive director of Angels and Sparrows. And during break, we have so much fun talking off air. You guys are hilarious, man. I'm able to let my hair down with this group.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we are having a blast. This is a lot of fun. And I've been on the show several times, but I think I'm having more fun today, not excluding my past guests, but you guys are hilarious. Sarah, you need to do a comedy show.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah. We can be the backup dancers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Now, speaking of dancing,
Yeah.
I cannot dance. I can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. There's different line dances. My wife said, "Well, I want to do this line dance." Well, I'm not the one for you. You can go out there and get in line, but I'm not going to dance. So. But right before the break, we were talking about top three things at your organization. Jessika, were you able to complete the top three things?
People.
People. Yeah. Well, Miss Brandi, what are the top three things at Angels and Sparrows for you?
Well, I don't want to say like ditto, but I want to say ditto. Just because I think, for me, like just the people that we serve and working with them every single day, there's not a week that I don't like close out the week and just can tell you amazing stories of wonderful people. And it's just so humbling to see how much they're striving and how hard they're really working and the sacrifices that they're making every day to be part of our programs and to just help themselves and help their families. It's just amazing and it's inspiring and it makes me want to do better, like myself, like not only my own home life, but just, do more in the community to help them better. And of course, like we have an amazing staff team and everyone is just so willing to jump in and we're, there's times where I'm helping on the food side, they're helping on the pathway side, just like whatever's going on, like we're all willing to like jump in and help. And then the community, which that includes our volunteers, our donors, our supports, like such as you, Commissioner Quarles, and just being able to have everybody really wrap around us and rally to help us out, whether it's coming in and actually volunteering and being the hands and feet, or it's donating money or donating supplies or goods, and just coming back and speaking to our teens, giving back. There's lots of opportunities, and we just couldn't do it without the community.
Speaking of the food side, do you cook?
No, but I wash dishes really well.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. No, my husband actually loves to cook, and he says that it's his stress relief at the end of the day. And so I'm like, you know what? If that works for you, then you have at it. Me personally, I would rather work out, but cooking's his thing. So like I said, I'm a great dishwasher.
Jessika, do you cook?
I like to cook in a certain setting. So a little music, there's no rush, maybe a glass of wine, the meal I'm going to do, but kind of the day-to-day, I'm not really into it. I'm blessed that my husband does a lot of the cooking for us, and he's very good. So it's all up to Sarah.
Sarah? One cook in the group.
I am a very good eater.
Yes.
And my husband is a very good cook.
Yeah. That's amazing that we all three have husbands that like to cook.
So here's to the men, right?
Yeah.
Well, I am a very good cook.
See?
Yes, I am the cook. And my children love when I cook. I think my wife is the better cook, but I do most of the cooking. I don't know if it's because I'm retired. I'm not retired. I have more time at home. I do the cooking, and the kids really love how I season the foods. I enjoy it.
What's your dish, your signature dish?
Oh, man. It's got to be, we don't do pork. I'm going to say something simple as a spaghetti, but it's the way the spaghetti comes out. It's simple. No. You got to make sure it's got the right flavor, and that's the key.
Made with love.
Made with love.
Yes.
And then also, we do a camp out on our property once a year. And we have these burgers that we do. You patty them up, but you take your Worcestershire sauce and you soak, marinate it with that. And I love jalapenos, so you cut up some jalapenos on some, and cut some different type of peppers. And I take the peppers and I put them into the blender, and all that juice. So when you mix it, that juice goes in it. Oh man.
Great idea.
This is a terrible question to talk about or ask when it's 11:38 right before lunch. Just so you know.
But I also want an invite to this camping experience.
It is so cool. We have about 100 people that come out, and they just bring their tents. And a 6-person tent is one of those tents where you can actually put your big air mattress in, just walk inside. We start on Friday, well, technically Thursday, prepping the food. And people who work, they bring their tents over to the house, and we'll put the tents up during Fridays. When we get off work, your tent is put up where you want it to be placed. We have one friend bought his RV. Oh, wow. He messed up my lawn, though.
Oh no.
Okay. I love him, but he messed up.
The grass is a pride possession, I know.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we have all types of music, every genre you can think of. We invite a diverse group of people. We have a bonfire that is so long. We have karaoke. We don't ask people to bring anything to eat. And we just have a good time, from burgers to hot dogs to ribs, beef and pork.
Wow.
You name it, we have it.
Yeah.
We just have a blast.
Well, you cook, and I'll teach you to dance.
We'll do that. We'll give it a try.
Okay, I like it.
And we'll eat.
Yes.
And since dancing is a challenge, what is the biggest challenge that you have right now at Angels and Sparrows?
I think similar to most nonprofits, it's always the funding, right? If funding is cut at a federal level or a state level or community level in certain areas, we really rely on the community to step up, because, we're doing a lot of hard work, and we know the community is willing to get in the trenches with us, but we also need them to help us with funding as a part of that, just to make sure that our mission can continue. And so I would say that's probably the number one challenge, not just for us, but I'm going to guess for most nonprofits in the area. And we're fortunate to live in this community, because I know that the people here care.
And I would just add too, I think just capacity, as far as there's such a need. I'm sure you're seeing that, Sarah, as well. But I have almost 60 people or 60 families on our wait list wanting to get into the Pathway program. And we just can't serve everyone because we just don't have capacity from a mainly funding perspective, but also just, overall infrastructure, things of that nature. So there's just such a need. And so definitely tons of opportunities for our wonderful community to help us out in a tremendous way.
Yes. Sarah, what about you?
We have a few challenges. Funding, obviously, like you all both said, that is a huge need. We also need specialists to refer our patients to. So if they're not coming in-house, we need to be able to refer our patients somewhere else. So orthopedics is a big need for us, dermatology and gastroenterology. It'd be great if we can find someone who would see them in their office at a deeply discounted rate, or come to our clinic and see patients there. That would be a huge help. And when we open our in-house dental clinic this summer, later this year, we need volunteer dentists to volunteer maybe once a month to help see patients, because dental is very expensive, as we all know. And so helping with that would be huge. And another challenge is awareness. We've been in this community almost 27 years, and we are still a very well-kept secret. And that's not good. We need to change that.
We do need to change that. Again, you all know that I would tell you, and I'll tell you again, I believe nonprofits is the heartbeat of your community. You all provide services that the government, we just can't provide. And that's why I believe we need to work together. Partnership is everything. Everything is built on relationship, whether it's a good or bad relationship. And we have this great Huntersville. Huntersville was just listed by Consumer Affairs as the 4th best place to live in the state of North Carolina.
I saw that. That's impressive.
That's very impressive. So you want to do things like that to make Huntersville continue to thrive. The state of North Carolina is now number 3 in the country as far as fastest growing. So that's very impressive again, because you're now in the one of the top 5 fastest growing states in the country. You live in and you serve in the 4th best place in the state to live. You need to continue to build those relationships, and not to be political, but we got ripped apart in a lot of complaints about giving money to nonprofit organizations. And I'm just so thankful to have you all here on this show today so people can understand, well, it does make sense. Well, no, the taxpayers, our money to go to X place and Y place. No, I don't look at it as being tax dollars spent. I look at it as investments in your community. When you talk about someone needing something to eat, or someone trying to get a GED or to learn, that strengthens your community. You talk to someone who have black mold and respiratory problems with dental work. We should never look down on people. We need to make sure that we can uplift our nonprofit organizations. And we need to make sure we can get you guys exposure, because to be around for 20 years and to be a secret, that's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
Yep. So again, we need to work on those relationships. Now, we talked about the camping and we talked about cooking, but outside of your work, what are some things you like to do? And I tell you, we have a commercial coming up here soon. So let's not get to that question yet, but you can lock it in. So Edwin's going to come back and say, well, what do I like to do when I am not at work, whether it's gardening, mountains, golf, I don't know. We're going to come up with some cool things to talk about, because, again, I told you guys, I am just so peculiar. I'm just different.
I love that you think we're that cool, that we have such exciting lives.
Yes. I'm struggling to come up with just 3.
I know.
You guys will come up with some
I know. I had to ask
stuff.
my husband, I'm like, what do you think I do out of work? He's like, annoy me.
Yes.
Yep,
Create
so
honey to-do list.
What we're going to do, though, we're going to take another quick break. I've got to get these bills paid. So, again, don't go to any place out there in the listening world. We'll be right back with Thrive here live in Huntersville. I'm Commissioner Quarles. We'll be right back.
Sit tight. We'll be back with more after this on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Well, the ups and downs continue in North Carolina weather, but the more comfortable weather is starting to become sort of a common thing. Not quite record warmth, but we'll be toasty for our Monday afternoon. Kick off the new work week. Plenty of sunshine. High temperatures will climb into the mid-80s to start the work week. Now, staying dry, staying comfortable through much of the week, but we'll cool it back off a tad. Temperatures drop back into the low 70s for our Tuesday, upper 60s to right around 70 much of the week. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. 3 days of live music kick off on Thursday at Bin 110 in Cornelius. Ryan Winters opens up the performances on Thursday. Simple Soul takes the stage on Friday, while Hey Ladies will get you moving on Saturday. Bin 110 welcomes great local musicians Thursday through Saturday. The 500 Club in Statesville is having Easter brunch this Sunday afternoon. Come celebrate the holiday with your friends and family and enjoy the club's delicious food with first-class service. Call 704-872-9990 or visit the 500 Club online for more details on Easter brunch. The Spring Gospel Music Fest will be at Alexander Central High School Auditorium in Taylorsville on April 24th. Gold City and Sabbath Quartet are the featured performers with showtime scheduled for 6:30 p.m. For more information, call 828-383-5176. Enjoy the Spring Gospel Music Fest in Taylorsville on Thursday, April 24th. The NHRA returns to ZMAX Dragway April 25th through the 27th with the annual 4-Wide Nationals. See 40,000 horsepower at one time when drag racing's finest stars line up to compete 4-wide. Every ticket is a pit pass, so come early to see your favorite drivers and cars up close before they race at over 300 miles per hour. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for tickets and more information about the NHRA 4-Wide Nationals on April 25th through the 27th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
MerleFest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
All right, we're back with more from the Town of Huntersville on WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Local starts here.
Welcome back with Thrive here in Huntersville. I'm Commissioner Edwin Quarles, and this morning we have two amazing nonprofit organizations and three wonderful ladies. We have Miss Sarah Porter, Director at Cook Community Clinic. We have Miss Brandi Jones, who is the Director of Programs at Angels and Sparrows, and we have Miss Jessika Tucker, who is the Executive Director of Angels and Sparrows. During break, you all, we were talking about songs that make you move. And even though I said I can't dance, Jessika asked me the loaded question, what song will make me shake or move around? And I said, Frankie Beverly, Happy Feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Jessika, now that the mics are hot, what makes you move?
I cannot help but move when Everybody Dance Now comes on. I can be putting on makeup. Whatever I'm doing, I have to start moving to that song. Lifts my spirit. It's the best.
Yeah.
Brandi?
I said anything old school hip hop, but you give me a good Missy Elliott or Pharrell Williams beat, and I'm there.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. I like that. Miss Sarah, you're the funny one, so I know you.
No, I mean, anything, on Pandora, the Dua Lipa station, the Chapel Roan station, definitely hip hop barbecue station, anything with a good beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that break brought us into the segment to where we're going to ask the next question is, when you're not at Angels and Sparrows or Cook Community Clinic, what do you like to do? And Sarah, I'm going to start with you.
I'm very boring. I don't know. I like to go to the gym. I like to lift weights. I'm trying to get strong, like really strong. And
Alrighty.
not buff, but strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to do yoga. I guess I like to annoy my husband since that's what he said I should say, because that's what I do. And then I'm starting to read again.
Okay.
But one of the things I really like to do is we live in a neighborhood that's walkable to other things, and getting outside and walking around and and going to local restaurants and breweries and things like that, places like that, and just, hanging out with your neighbors in your own neighborhood, I think is fun.
Well, speaking of yoga, I have a disability from the VA or from the military. I have not had a pain-free day since the mid-90s.
Oh, wow.
I go around daily in some type of pain. Something's bothering me. Another part of my disability is migraines. I suffer from chronic migraines. And the VA would send me to Mecklenburg Neurology, and I was getting injections in the back of my head. They would do the ultrasound to make sure they hit the right nerve, just to do some nerve block. But this right here is also like a lifesaver. This is called a TENS unit. And this TENS unit, I put it on my forehead for 30 days. And I carry it around with me a lot because I don't know when I'm going to get a migraine. And sometimes you have the aura come in, or I have a mint or something in my pocket. And in the cars I drive around in, I have mint and lavender. But speaking of the yoga, the VA had me going to take Tai Chi.
Okay.
Because Tai Chi helps with pain, it helps you with your breathing, and it was so amazing. But even with the pain syndrome, I was able to do some of the different, moves and things of that nature. So it's not too far from yoga. Yeah. Miss Brandi, what do you like to do when you're not at Angels and Sparrows?
I kind of like Sarah. I'm in anything of that self-care. I absolutely love like meditation, working out, long walks, do yoga, some here, Pilates, things like that. I'm a foodie. So I absolutely love like trying new restaurants. I love hanging out with my family and friends. Going to church is a big thing for me. And then give me any sport any day and I am there, whether it's on TV or I'm in person. Like I absolutely love sports. All sports, like college sports are my favorite, but I love everything. I'll watch tennis. I'll watch, college baseball, softball, of course, football, go Florida State. But yeah, I love it all. So.
If I could get my wife into sports, I would be the man.
I tell my husband all the time, I hope he knows how lucky he is that I like sports. So.
My wife doesn't like sports. I used to own a marketing firm, and one of my clients was the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yeah, nice.
And one of my business advisors, he was friends with Michael Jordan, and that's how I was able to get the contract. My wife and my daughter, the only place they ever sat was in Michael Jordan's suite.
Oh.
But my wife would take a book to every game. This is the honest truth. A book to every Bobcats game.
Oh, no.
That was so embarrassing. And we had season tickets for the Panthers. And again, she would take a book. So we got rid of the season tickets. And if I want peace at the house, I'll put the TV on sports. She'll go to another room.
She does listen to this, right?
Yes.
Okay, just
yes.
checking.
Yeah.
I am transparent.
Yeah, she already knows that. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jessika, what do you like to do?
I grew up in the generation where kids played outside. So for me, I feel like I love playing outside, although it obviously looks different as an adult. So it's hiking, long walks, anything I can do that's outdoors where I'm hearing the birds, I'm feeling nature around me, even if it's just sitting on the back patio and hearing all of that and reading a book or, enjoying time with my husband or friends, things like that.
Birds, do you have like the Bird Merlin app, or do you? You do?
I absolutely love it because, I used to think only older people did this, but maybe I'm now in that age group. But
You're not in that age group.
Yes, no.
Watching the birds come to the bird feeder and trying to identify them, which I have no talent at doing. But thank God for the app because now we can either snap a picture or if they're singing, test the app and find out what kind of bird is in our yard.
I don't think older people have the Merlin app because yours truly.
Oh.
I have the Merlin
just
app
the really
on my
cool
phone.
people.
Yes, the cool people.
Cool
Yes,
people
we
have
want
it.
to. Yes, we want to make sure that when someone is talking, we can blend in the conversation.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you never meet a stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, I would talk to a tree if it would talk to me. So serious. I have a teenage stepdaughter, and I embarrass her all the time. Like she's constantly like, "Oh God, there she goes again!" Like because I would just talk to random people.
As an elected official, my wife's even before that, when I had the marketing firm, I could sell anything. I could meet. I just met everyone, and I love people. I talk to people. As an elected official, it's worse for my wife now because I can see someone at the restaurant. We were in Publix the other day getting a sub. Hey, you live in Huntersville? I talk to everybody, and it's not because I want their vote. I want them to know who I am, but I do tell those people, get a chance, vet me. I just want to talk to people. Again, if this mic turns off, I would continue to talk. That's just me. So I love that you can talk to any and everybody. And the kind of work you do, it's important that you can talk to everyone because you meet a lot of people. And when I was at your facility, just to see how families walked in and was so happy, the kids coming in jovial, that's amazing. So you have to be a people person to do what you do. Sarah, is there a certain message, or what would you like to share with the broader community about the importance of your cause.
Everyone having access to health care makes the entire community healthy. It's important. Imagine if you're in a restaurant and someone doesn't have health insurance and they're sick and they don't know why they're sick, but come to find out they have hepatitis A and they're preparing your food. If that could be a public health crisis, that could be a very bad public health crisis. And so having a place like us to come to prevents community public health issues from arising. Everyone deserves access to health care. It makes our entire community better. Just, it should be it's a basic right. When everyone's healthy, the community's healthy.
Yes. Well, Brandi, I'm going to ask you the same question then. What message would you like to share on the pathway side that you want the community to know?
Yeah, it's very similar. I think that every person deserves access to education. So just because you don't have, your family might not be able to put you into private school or, pay for the schools that are going to get you the best education. And we have amazing public schools. I'm not knocking our public schools, but some of our kids don't have access to the things that they need. Like their parents don't even know that they need an IEP, or they don't even know that they need, some additional support because they have a learning disability. So everybody deserves that. And just being able to provide those services and helping those kids that need a little extra tutoring. Tutoring is expensive. And so just being able to make sure that our kids that are in our community thrive. And because same thing, without our kids being educated, who's going to serve your food, who's going to be the next elected officials, who's going to be the next doctors. And, we're creating a generation of possibilities. And so just being able to help our community and our neighbors that just need that, they're not looking for a hand up. They're just looking for some help and some additional support. And I'm just blessed and thankful that we're able to provide that, and think that the community is a wonderful place to do it here in Huntersville. And we have so many people in need.
Jessika, what about you on the food side, as far as the broader news? What you want the community to know more about on the food side of Angels and Sparrows?
Food is fundamental. None of us can go without eating and survive. And I think that just understanding the impact that food insecurity can have on a family. We want people to show up at work. We want kids to show up at school. If they're hungry, they can't focus. It leads to coping mechanisms, which means they might be skipping their medicines. They might be skipping a meal in order to put gas in the car. It's impacting their ability to focus at work, at school, function on a day-to-day basis. And so being able to know they have a place to come where they can get a nutritious meal, where they have partnerships. We partner with Cook Clinic. We refer to them. They refer to us and a number of other nonprofits. Just knowing they have a place in our community, regardless of what they're going through, which could be a generational issue or a situational impact they're having to experience. They need to know that in our community in Huntersville, people care and there is a place to go and they still belong here and they can still thrive here regardless.
This is awesome. And I got to say, I had the most fun with you all. You're smiling, we're laughing and joking. Some great off-air conversations. Get to know each other even more. Now, you guys work so closely together, but it's been amazing. I will keep you guys posted about the next camping event. But again, I want to thank you guys so much for being my special guest on Thrive here in Huntersville. Again, I'm Commissioner Edwin Quarles. We've had Miss Brandi Jones, Miss Sarah Porter, and Miss Jessika Tucker here to talk about their nonprofit organizations. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for what you do. Our community is better because of you. Again, thank you. And this is it, y'all. Live here at Thrive here in Huntersville. I'm Commissioner Edwin Quarles.
Serving you better than ever before.